Hello everyone, welcome back to another video on my YouTube channel. This video is part of the YouTube series that I am making called Zero to Hero Business Central. In this series, I already uploaded few videos on my YouTube channel. In this particular video, we are going to learn about collections in Business Central. So Business Central actually supports three types of collections and we are going to see them. So here you can see AL supports three types of collections. A collection is a complex type that contains multiple values in one variable. For example, if you see AL supports arrays, list, and dictionaries, basically array contains multiple values, list also contains multiple values, dictionary also contains multiple values, but the way the elements are arranged in these types is different. All of these collections are strongly typed, which means you can't have values with different types in the same collections. Means, for example, you can only have array of integers or list of integers, dictionary of you can say the key is in integer and the value is in text. We can see the dictionary syntax and dictionaries in action. So first let us actually see arrays. So if you take arrays, I have the syntax for defining one dimensional array. So basically you need an identifier. We can say this as an array name, and we need this keyword array, and this is array of 3. That means we are going to have three elements in this particular array, and those elements are of type integer. So here you can see I have one dimensional array and I am storing 10, 20, 30 values in this particular array. This array name is employee amount, and there are three elements in this array, and the type of those elements is integer. So we can have only one type of elements in this one. For example, I cannot have one element as integer, another element as text. So I need to have only one type of elements in my array. So this is an one dimensional array, and if you see two dimensional array, basically we need to have two values in here. The first one represents rows, the second one represents columns. So if you see the example over here, again we need to have the identifier to identify the employee amount. So it is a name, variable name, and those are of type integers. So we also need data type because we wanted to store elements of which type, that we have to specify over here. So we have array. This is a two-dimensional array, and this is a first row, this is a second row, this is a first column, this is a second column, and this is a third column. So array can be used with complex types. For example, here if you see I have array of integers, but I can also have array of records, where in each index over here I can actually put a record. So these are indexes. So this is a first index, this is second index, and this can be third index. So we can access the elements of the array by using the index values. So the index in AL for array starts from 1. In other programming language it starts with 0, but in AL it starts with 1. So actually let us see both one dimensional array and two dimensional array in our AL code. I have this employee setup page which I have created in my previous video. So let me actually go to my project called Zero to Hero. In here, I have created one action button called collections, and in collections, I am calling one procedure. So let me actually go to this procedure. I already prepared this code for this particular video. So here you can see, firstly, I have declared the employee amount as array 3 of integers. So basically the size of the array is 3 and the type of the array is integer type. Here you can see I am using a for loop. Do not worry about loops yet. We are going to learn about loop in the next video of this series, but for now do not worry about the loops. So here basically what I did was, for each element in the array I have assigned a value to that particular index. So for example, first iteration, it is going to assign at the index 1 the value of 1 into 10, which is 10. At the second iteration, it is going to assign for employee amount of 2 equals to 2 into 10, which is 20. And for third iteration, it is going to assign the value 30. So we are going to actually see that. We actually publish this, and let us actually see how it looks in the UI. So it is now published. So let me actually refresh this once. And now let me actually click on collections. So now here you can see array 1 array value at the index 1 is 10, at the index 2 is 20, at the index 3 is 30. So that is one dimensional array. Now let us actually see two dimensional array. So I have created example for that one as well. So here you can see I have a two dimensional array. The syntax for declaring two dimensional array is employee amount array of 2 comma 3 of integer. So it is basically a two dimensional array, and I'm actually assigning values to each index in two dimensional array. Basically we are assigning these values 10, 20, 30, 20, 40, 60. So here you can see I am assigning those values. So this calculation ends up with these values getting assigned to each index in the array, and we are actually printing those array values. So let me actually call this procedure from our employee setup page. So let me call the two dimensional array, and let us see how that actually looks in the UI. So now let me go in here, let me refresh this once, and let's actually click on collections. Now here you can see array 1 comma 1 is 10. Here you can see 1 comma 1 is 10. This is the row, this is the column. So this index, if you want to access this particular index, we need to do 1 comma 1. So array 1 comma 1 is 10, array of 1 comma 2 is 20. So this is the first row, this is the second column. So to access this particular index we need to do 1 comma 2, so on. Like array 1 comma 3 is 30, array of 2 comma 1 is 20. We are in the second row but we are in the first column. So to access this particular index we need to do 2 comma 1. To access this one we need to do 2 comma 2. To access this one we need to do 2 comma 3. So here you can see 2 comma 2 is 40, 2 comma 3 is 60. So basically what we did was we traversed through the two dimensional array, and we have actually shown those values to the user by using the message function. So this is arrays. So arrays are basically collection of elements of same data type. Like you can have a collection of text, or you can have a collection of any complex types. Also you can have a collection of records as well that you can use in arrays. So this is arrays, and now let us actually see list. The list data type can be compared to an array. So you can compare list with an array, but there is a difference between list and array. In array we need to actually mention the size upfront. Here also we have mentioned the size. That means how many number of elements that we are going to have in the array, we need to define that one. But in list we don't have to define like how many elements we wanted to have in the list. The size to that list will be allocated dynamically, so we don't have to mention the size upfront. So even here you can see the syntax for this one. We did not mention size anywhere, but we have mentioned the data type of the list. So employee names is basically list of text. That means we can store as many elements of type text in the employee names. So here you can see the list type can only be used with fundamental types and represent strongly typed types of values that can be accessed by an index. So again, one more difference is in list you cannot have complex types, such as you cannot have list of records, but you can have only fundamental types like list of integers, list of text, list of decimal, like that. The list data type doesn't require you to define how many elements you can store upfront. So it actually doesn't require you to specify how many elements that you wanted to store in this particular list. So let us actually see that in code. I already have created one procedure called list variable. In here you can see I have created employee names, list of text. Again, do not worry about how we can add elements inside list. We are also going to cover that in the next videos in this particular series. But now just remember that if you wanted to add an element to the list, you can use the procedure called add on the list variable. So here I'm adding Tulsidas, Ramesh, Suresh to this particular list, and I am actually going to access those values by looping through the list. So again, do not worry about this for each loop as well. We're going to cover about loops in our loop control statements video, so do not worry about that. But basically we are traversing through this particular employee names list, and we are actually printing all the names. So let me actually call this procedure from here. Let me select this and let me paste. And now let me publish this. So let us let us see how this actually looks in the UI. So basically what we did was we created a list. In that list we have added few names by using the procedure or function add on the list variable, and we are actually showing that to the user. So let me actually go to UI. Let me refresh this once. And now once it is refreshed, let me click on collections. So here you can see list of employee names. The first name is Tulsidas because in list the first name that we have added is Tulsidas, and it should show the employee name Ramesh, the employee name Suresh. So let me click on OK. Now the list of employees names Ramesh and list of employee names Suresh. So this is basically list. On list we can actually call many functions. We're going to see all the list functions that are available in the next videos, but for now that is list. Also we have the another collection called dictionary. This data type is a collection of keys and values. So if you wanted to store key and value, then you can go for dictionary type. Every key in the dictionary should be unique. The main benefit is that you can immediately get the value for a specific key. So all the keys that you mentioned over here needs to be unique, and you can have a value for all those particular keys. Do not worry about this. We are going to see this in action in code. So basically I created one dictionary variable called employee countries, and it is a dictionary of text 100 and text 100. So the key is text 100 and the value is also text 100. The main thing that we need to remember is this key value always needs to be unique whenever we are creating keys. So let us actually see that in action. I have one procedure called dictionary variable. It is again employee countries, dictionary of text and text. Here I am actually adding key value and the value actually. The key is Tulsidas and the value for that key is India. I belong in India. The Ramesh employee belongs to US. The Suresh employee belongs to UK. So this is a key and this is a value. This is a key and this is a value. This is a key and this is a value. So we are actually again traversing through the dictionary for each key in employee countries dot keys. So if you wanted to actually access the keys, you can use this particular syntax employee countries dot keys. So for each key we wanted to have the employee name. So to get the employee name, basically we need to give the key to the get method. So basically get gets the associated gets the value associated with the specified key. So if this is a key, if I wanted to get the value for that particular key, you need to use this particular syntax where you need to give the key to the get method on the dictionary variable. So let me actually call this as well from here, and let me actually publish this. So basically we created a dictionary variable, and in dictionary we have added keys and values, and we're basically showing that those key values to the user on the UI. So let me go to UI again. Let me actually refresh this once. And now let me click on collections. Now here you can see employee name Tulsidas and the country is India. You can see the message in here. Employee name is firstly it is going to be replaced with the key, and the second percentage 2 is going to be replaced with the value. So employee name is Tulsidas, country is India. Employee name is Ramesh, country is USA. Employee name is Suresh, country is UK. So that is dictionary. The main important thing that you need to remember is all the keys in the dictionary should be unique. So that's all about collections that we have in Business Central. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'll be uploading more videos in this particular series called Zero to Hero Business Central. If you don't want to miss them, you should definitely consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you.